Ancient exposed! Spirit, they'll make the walk over towards the Ancient.
They're not waiting for the creeps.
They're ready to close it this time. Only 2 left. Can they stop a PSG LGD? I don't think they can. GQ's got it. It's over.
GG.
It's over. GG. They've got it. They have done it. Team Spirit. They come into the grand finals. 2 games straight up. They take them away from PSG LGD. Game 3, game 4. PSG LGD.
Tournaments. Millions of dollars in prize money. Constant public, ever-changing online leaderboards. Ranks, leagues, exclusive rewards, and constant recognition. It's easy to see why you'd want to get into the world of esports. If you've played online video games, you've probably thought about it. Actually, with the meteoric rise of streaming platforms and the wide appeal of what once were gamer-focused events, even complete newbies to the genre have probably considered it. It must be nice, right? Being popular, I mean. Esports popularity is very much the equivalent of being a niche celebrity. You don't get recognized a lot outside of your social circle or your industry, but you're probably invited to a bunch of things, and some fans of the scene look up to you. Then again, being popular doesn't come without a lot of hard work, pressure, and, obviously, the need for a bit of luck. Then again, I wouldn't really know what being popular is like. I've hung out with the popular kids before, but that's behind me now. The reality is, I've always disliked competition. Sure, I enjoy winning, but competing is not something I welcome with open arms. Call it being self-conscious about my abilities or afraid of losing. Either way, becoming a popular kid meant dealing with that kind of competition because, at least in some ways, and definitely from my perspective at the time, everybody wanted to be a part of the clique. And of course, playing multiplayer video games means much the same thing. Back when StarCraft II came out, the franchise had already achieved incredible levels of popularity globally, and the esports scene had already blossomed. In that scenario, an overwhelming majority of players who purchased the game must have thought, maybe I'll put in the hard work and study other players so that, one day, I'll become Grandmaster. I grew up with video games that never required incredible levels of skill from the player. RPGs, single-player linear experiences, open-world games, those were the norm for me, but when I started realizing other people played video games, I became interested in joining them. Hence, multiplayer. Where I grew up, people were playing games like Counter-Strike or Quake. Fast, aggressive, reflex-based games where somebody like me, used to taking their time and figuring out what to do next, was hopelessly lost. So, I struggled. I tried looking online, asking friends how to improve, and eventually I kind of did. That path of online multiplayer actually led me to YouTube and then Call of Duty, where I watched people who taught me what guns were best, what maps had vantage points, and how to win even impossible seeming matches. It was fun, at least for a while. I did get better. I went from not knowing how to move around to actually doing decently. As with all things in life, though, I started realizing my limits. I'm not getting any better than this, I thought. Then, frustration. Later, anger and disgust with the video games that offered countless hours of entertainment before. I felt lesser, lacking. I felt like I was falling behind. I stopped enjoying the game and started hating the idea of it because I knew, or I thought, I was going to always lose. Eventually, after a couple of years, I thought I'd switch from shooters to something else. Naturally, wanting to overachieve, I chose DOTA 2. I had gotten a beta key, and having slight previous experience with League of Legends, I gave it a try. At first, it was terrifying. I understood very little, I had issues focusing, and it wasn't nearly as fast-paced as the games I was used to. I think I spent the better part of a year playing a match every few months, until eventually I found a YouTube series that explained the basics. From that point onwards, I had regained that ambition of going from terrible to decent. I was going to do it. I was dedicated. Fast forward a couple of weeks and I'm getting it. I'm not exactly having fun, mind you, but I had set a goal and I was going to go through with it. In one of these matches, I met a teammate who's got great communication skills. We talk, we win the match, and it feels very different. I knew I had won because of teamwork. Immediately, my entire mindset started to change. I felt like I needed to play alongside this person. I realized, after countless hours of searching ways to get better, that what I really needed from online multiplayer video games was a friend. That was the first of many meaningful victories for me. And as usual, life has a way of setting you off on a track. So, slowly, we would win more and more. Then we would both plateau and we'd lose a bunch. Frustration and anger weren't the same then. It was all about our friendship and how that affected the game we played, and how that game affected us in return. We would play other games, we would talk, we would try to increase our little group to have a full team and find more players like us, and so on. I had made a friend thanks to video games. The first of many. Competition has never been fun for me. Teamwork, on the other hand, is wonderful. So then, the first meaningful victory taught me a meaningful lesson. The truth is, I've started seeing meaningful victories in my life beyond just video games. I managed to conquer some of my anxieties, I've managed to grow into my extrovert side, I pulled myself out of a hole and made friends, met new people, and had more experiences. All of these little victories mean just as much to me as the first one. Eventually, I made the indubitably correct decision to go to therapy. Before my first session, I thought, I don't want to think of this as a task or a project that needs to go well. It's a process. I needed to go with it and use it to gain insight and get a handle on myself. Therapy was and still is, for me, a meaningful victory. Every session feels like teamwork between every part of me that needs to come out and discuss a certain topic, the therapist, and then, later on, my own processes of internalizing what was discussed in a session. Initially, I had missed the point of esports. It's not just about tournaments and ranks and prizes and fame. It's about overcoming your barriers and finding a team or a coach that you can work with and doing your best together to improve and to reach that end goal, the win. Initially, I had also missed the point of online multiplayer. Those people I watched on YouTube usually played together with friends. The people I was asking for help were there to play with me. We could always play against each other for fun, but from the macro perspective, all I was looking for was friends to play with. I'm thankful I was self-aware enough not to miss the point of therapy. Understanding yourself and your emotions and processes is one of life's biggest challenges. Who am I? Why am I like this? What am I supposed to do? Nobody has every answer, but each step that helps push the fog a little further, that helps you see 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead, is a victory. Sure, this isn't exactly a post-mortem of my experiences. I'm still working on myself, and I don't expect to ever be able to say, work's done. I don't think I'll ever enjoy playing multiplayer by myself. There's no I in team, right? But as far as learning and improvement go, there is an I in victory. And I've never felt more ready. Alright, enough cheesy ending segments. Thank you for watching The Second Perspective. Let me know if you've got any pleasant experiences with multiplayer games, or if you're competitive and you enjoy it. It's something I'm still trying to comprehend. Oh, and see you next time.